Welcome. Good morning. My name is Michael Michaud, he, him. I'm a member of the Board of Trustees, and it is my pleasure to welcome you to the Unitarian Universalist Church of Brunswick. Whether you are attending in person or at home or gathering with others remotely, we are glad you are here. UUCB is located on the ancestral homelands of the Wabanaki people, who have deep, enduring, and ongoing relationships with Brunswick's lands and waterways. We acknowledge the painful legacy of the region's colonial history and commit to better understanding it. We will work to recognize and welcome the presence and concerns of the Wabanaki, whose people and culture live within and contribute to the vitality of this community we share. Today is Sunday, August 16th, 2026, and Kai Flannery is leading the service today. The reflection is titled, "When Giving is All We Have," and our music is performed by Stephanie Bernier and Jim McLaughlin. If you are new or visiting today and would like more information about our congregation, please stop at the visitors table in the back of the fellowship hall. The folks there will be happy to answer any questions. As we begin our service today, please silence your mobile devices. And once again, welcome. We are glad to see that you're here.
Good morning. Thank you. I want to welcome my dear friend Jim McLaughlin, who was sweet enough to volunteer to come do music with us here today. Can you hear it? No. Okay. I'm very close to the mic.
You need to be close to the mic.
Should I be turning it on here? Now I think you can hear me. That's why I couldn't hear me before. So if you didn't hear me, I'm really happy to welcome my dear friend Jim McLaughlin, who's here and volunteered to play music for us and with me this morning.
It's a crazy world we live in. Bad news all around. Brothers and sisters, if we're gonna make a difference, we're gonna have to stand our ground and be a drop in the bucket and a bucket in the pond. And the pond fills the river and the river rushes on. And every river swells the river till the power can't be stopped. And what becomes a mighty ocean started as a drop. Down in Alabama, a lady boarded a bus. The driver said, "You're black, you're gonna sit in the back." Rosa said, "I've had enough." She was a drop in the bucket and a bucket in the pond. And the pond fills the river and the river rushes on. And every river swells the river till the power can't be stopped. And what becomes a mighty ocean started as a drop. Great Britain ruled over India, made them slaves to the goods they bought. Till Gandhi told his people to the ocean, he said, "Look, free salt." He was a drop in the bucket and a bucket in the pond. And the pond fills the river and the river rushes on. And every river swells a river till the power can't be stopped. And what becomes a mighty ocean started as a drop. In the alleys of Calcutta, Mother Teresa lived her life. She did much more than feed the poor. She taught us how to shine our light. Singing, this little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. Let it shine, let it shine, let it shine. So be a drop in the bucket, and a bucket in the pond, and the pond fills the river, and the river rushes on. And every river swells a river till the power can't be stopped. And what becomes a mighty ocean started as a drop.
Good morning. My name is Tobin Cooney Calnan. I use the pronouns he and they, and I serve as your lifelong spiritual formation director. Today, I am serving as your person who lights the chalice. And our chalice lighting this morning comes from Maureen Killoran. It's called Love Can Transform the World. Love is the aspiration, the spirit that moves and inspires this faith we share. Rightly understood, love can nurture our spirits and transform the world. May the flame of this chalice honor and embody the power and the blessing of the love we need, the love we give, and the love we are challenged to always remember and to share. I also have the honor of introducing to you all Kai Flannery. Kai Flannery is a chaplain who serves in Bangor. I had the pleasure of getting to know Kai when they came here for the very start of their chaplaincy program, and I've gotten to watch them grow into the work that they do. And one of the things I can say about Kai is that they are somebody who truly embodies love and embodies generosity and giving. And so that this is the topic that they are going to be speaking on is so fitting. Without further ado.
Hello, I'm Kai Flannery. It is an honor to be here with you. And I really love and appreciate this congregation and getting to be with you again this year. I love and appreciate Tobin and Stephanie and each of you. Thank you. I am beginning today. I will say that it was a gift to be crossing Sebago Lake this morning on that ferry off of Fry Island. I know, and then that little drive through the backwoods that you may know very well to get here was quite beautiful. So I'm feeling very blessed to be surrounded by you all and all of these trees. Our opening reading is from Albert Rios, a poem called When Giving Is All We Have. One river gives its journey to the next. We give because somebody gave to us. We give because nobody gave to us. We give because giving has changed us. We give because giving could have changed us. We have been better for it. We have been wounded by it. Giving has many faces. It is loud and quiet, big though small, a diamond in wood nails. Its story is old, the plot is worn, and the pages too. But we read this book anyway, over and again, Giving is first and every time, hand to hand. Mine to yours and yours to mine. You gave me blue and I gave you yellow, and together we are green. What you did not have, and I gave you what I had to give. Together we made something greater from the difference. And now I would like to invite Stephanie and Jim back to sing our opening song, the garden song.
Feel free to stand, and if you, it's not a must, but you're welcome to.
Inch by inch, row by row, gonna make this garden grow. All it takes is a rake and a hoe and a piece of fertile ground. Inch by inch, row by row, someone bless these seeds I sow. Someone warm them from below till the rains come tumbling down. Pulling weeds and picking stones, we are made of dreams and homes. I need a place to call my own, 'cause the time is close at hand. Grain for grain, sun and rain, find my way in nature's chain. To my body and my brain, to the music of the land. Inch, so inch by inch, row by row, gonna make this garden grow. All it takes is a rake and a hoe and a piece of fertile ground. Inch by inch, row by row, someone bless these seeds I sow. Someone warm them from below till the rain comes tumbling down. Plant your rows straight and long, temper them with prayer and song. Mother Earth will make you strong if you give her love and care. An old crow watching hungrily from his perch in yonder tree. In my garden I'm as free as that feathered thief up there. So inch by inch, row by row, gonna make this garden grow. All it takes is a rake and a hoe and a piece of fertile ground. Inch by inch, row by row, someone bless these seeds I sow. Someone warm them from below till the rains come tumbling down.
Thank you.
Can you hear me okay? Yeah. That's good? Okay. Well, I am delighted to see you and sit in this chair. I see there are some kids. If you would like to come up, you can, but no pressure. But yeah, if you would like to, this is a good time for that. You don't have to. No, it's not, because we're all going to hear the story. So you can hear it from your seat, and that's all right. But I feel like we all kind of need a story time, right? So this will be good. We can all just relax. I'll rock in the rocking chair. You're going to sit up here. Thank you. That's great. Okay. Oh, this is good. Oh, good. Now we have 2. Wonderful. Oh my gosh. Now we have 3. Anybody else who wants to come, you're very welcome. Oh. Very nice, yes. Oh, me too. I do too. Yes, so I'm going to tell you one of my favorite stories, and it's from the Jewish tradition. And it is a story, I want you to picture a very small village with one synagogue where everybody went to, every single Jewish family, from the poorest Jewish family to the wealthiest Jewish family. They all went to this one synagogue on Friday nights to celebrate Shabbat, to celebrate the end of the week and welcome a day of rest and to relax and worship. And so I just want to bring you into this one Friday night where the wealthiest man in town, and he's Mr. Hummel, and he is getting ready for Shabbat, and he tells his baker, he has a baker at his house, and he has a cook, and he has a cleaner, and he's getting ready for Shabbat dinner with his wife, and he tells the baker, his personal baker in the morning, make 2 more challahs, this wonderful, lovely, aromatic bread for Friday nights. He says, just make 2 more challahs. I feel like these are so wonderful that I would like to share them with somebody, but they're so holy. I think I can only share them with God. They're such a good bread. And so the baker makes 2 extra challahs. And what happens is that he goes early because he wants to deliver this gift to God. So he shows up at the synagogue before everyone else, and he says, God, only you can understand the true beauty of this wonderful bread, all golden and covered in that egg, the egg topping. The bakers here, we know, we enjoy that. And he says, oh, God, only you can fully understand this challah. And so he tucks it in the back of the ark, and he said, God, this is for you. Enjoy. He sits, people arrive, and there's this service. And in the middle of the service, arrives Mr. Schmidt. And he is, oh goodness, he has had such a rough day. He's got a large, large family, many kids. And he's just trying to feed them all, and he's working very hard, but it's been a rough year and a rough week and a rough day. And so he's late to services again, and he sits at the very back row. And he just gets through the service and sings the songs, and he gets to the end. And at the end, he says to himself, I don't have anything to bring home to my family. He says we're going to have a very sparse feast today for Shabbat. And this is very hard. And he goes up, and at the very front of the synagogue, I don't know if I explained this part, but there's this beautiful ark that's meant to hold the commandments of God. And so it has these 2 doors that open during the service. It's very ceremonial. It's very beautiful. And so he goes up, Mr. Schmidt, and he talks to the ark, and he says, God, I don't know what's going on here. This is not enough for my family. I'm working as hard as I can, and I don't have a good Shabbat feast for them. And he says, why? Why has it been a rough year and a rough week and another rough day? Why? And he bangs his hand down on the table, and the ark opens up, and these 2 beautiful loaves of bread fall out. And he says, oh my goodness. And he smells it, and he says, God, this is amazing. He says, thank you so much. What a beautiful gift. I will go home to my family, and I will be able to give them this wonderful challah. So he goes home to his house, and he brings the challah. So over this year, this continues, where Mr. Hummel's gifts keep disappearing, and God takes them right up, and Mr. Schmidt's family continues to get bread, and they continue, and then next time, pretty soon, they get some matzo ball soup, and pretty soon after that, there's some brisket in there, and everybody during the service is like, what's that amazing smell? And Mr. Schmidt gets to take these things home to his family to feed his kids. So at the very end of this year of miracles, there is a cleaner who comes through who sees what happens, and he laughs and he says, I have to tell you what happened. And he says, you're a fool and you're a fool. You both believed that God was involved in this somehow. And the rabbi calls them both to his house. And the rabbi says, friends, God is very sad that this miracle has stopped happening. How can we repair it? And so Mr. Hummel thinks very hard. He says, I think you all, your family, should come to my house for Shabbat. And so instead of a quiet home with very good bread, he had laughter and shouting and joy and singing and so many good things that kids bring us on a Friday night. And they got to eat together, and the miracle was complete. That is the story.
Good morning. My name is Mary Larson. I use she, her pronouns. I'm here to read the joys and concerns for this morning. I would like to say that if you are not attending in-person services and would like to have a joy or concern read, the email address is on the screen, and joys-and-concerns@uubrunswick.org. We also, all the pastoral care associates, wear light blue ribbons on our name tags. We're happy to talk with you, to meet with you, provide a listening ear, and hope that we can help make things better for you in the coming week, or longer, hopefully. This morning we have a joy from Sue Michaud. And for her, it is a joy that I live in Brunswick that has so many great community events like the Art Festival, Music on the Mall, and is so close to beautiful trails and beaches, interesting lectures, and people. Yes, Sue, I'm also very grateful. We also have a concern this morning from Tobin that carries with it a joy. On Thursday, hard wind, rain, sleet, and lightning made its way through South Portland, flipping trees and damaging several houses. In my neighborhood, neighbors came together to help each other clean up. It was such a hopeful thing to witness neighbors supporting each other in what could have been a much worse situation. We all also have our own joys and concerns in our own hearts. Let's take a moment of silence for you to think about those that you're happy about, that you're moved by, and the people that you care for. Thank you.
Please join in our musical prayer.
I am finding my way. I am finding my way. I
us enter into an attitude of prayer and meditation. Spirit of life, one who grows the trees, one who blows the wind which uproots the trees, one who inspires the hearts of our neighbors to be together with us, inspires our hearts to help and do shared work. We come before you. We thank you for your heart of love which teaches us to look out for one another. Whether we think of you as karma or God, whether we think of you as love that goes between people, that's bigger than all of us. Whether we see you the most in nature, or in our children, or in our work, we give gratitude. May each of us live in the space of gratitude and growth. May we each be able to reach out our hands to do what must be done. May we each remember to stay in this moment, where all that we may be and do is laid out before us. May it be so. Amen.
I am finding my way. I am finding my way. I am finding my way back to now. I am finding my way. I am finding my way. I am finding my way back to now.
I wanted to invite Robin, would you be comfortable passing out some Post-its and some pens while we're getting started? Thank you very much. So, when I was getting ready to take my very first official chaplain job, I was in Boston, having done a lot of education, and I was in Brookline. I don't know if you know Brookline, but you know you do, okay. And you know how it is in the city, that where you're always jostling for a space and you need a quiet spot and it's hard to find one. So I stepped into an alleyway behind the movie theater to take the call that offered me this first official job. And I was meeting some friends later on, but I stepped into a pizza place where I crowded up at the bar with 10 other people, had a little celebratory beer and a slice of pizza. And in that situation, I happened to rub elbows with the guy next to me, literally and figuratively. And he was in town to work on a movie, and I was moving to Austin, where he'd spent lots of time as a cameraman. And so we talked, and I explained I was moving. And I also said, oh, I like your shirt. It was green and blue checks with a collar. So at the end of our little impromptu meal together, he unbuttoned his shirt. He had a little t-shirt under it. And he gave me the shirt off his back. I know. He wished me good things as I moved across the country for a new chapter of my life. So I've worn that shirt a lot of days at work. I almost wore it today. I've thought a lot about that moment at the pizza place. He was basically saying, we might not ever overlap in this world again, but I wish you well. I wish you abundance, and I wish that you would have what you need. I mean, maybe it just wasn't his favorite shirt, right? He was just like, but I think it was deeper than that. And sometimes we can give a thing that we have, right? And that's very simple. Sometimes we don't have, or we can't promise to give what somebody needs, which is hard and awkward. And sometimes we even give things we don't think we have, and that turns into a miracle. So I was called up to a hospital room recently. I work in Bangor at 2 hospitals. One of them is a mental health hospital, and one of them is focused on medical. And I was called up in the medical hospital to a room in the cardiac unit where somebody was dying. And she was about in my sort of age range, and her parents were far away, and they wanted to come, but they knew they wouldn't get there in time. And they didn't want to prolong her dying process. So there were 3 nurses there caring for her, just surrounding her, giving her love and attention. One nurse in particular, I remember, had been comforting her throughout this process. She had been afraid, and the nurse is just telling her again and again that she's beautiful and strong. So I prayed for this woman whose name I actually didn't even know in that moment as she took her last breaths. And those nurses there cried. They had only known her a few days, but they gave her this gift of warm presence and even tears. If someone had said to us, or maybe to me, you're going to go into work today and you're going to break your heart and cry over a stranger, and somehow that will be a gift to everyone, I would have been skeptical before I became a chaplain. People give so graciously in the hospital. When they're worn out by grief and fear, people give generously when it's hard to speak or when they know the end is near. At Acadia Hospital, which is the mental health hospital, I meet the nurses and techs there. And this will give you a picture. They have this robust psychological training, and yet what they do a lot is pour cups of coffee for people. So people come up to the front and they say, I really would like a cup of coffee. Here's what I want in it. Could you please get that for me? Or I really want a tea. And that is one of the most frequent requests. And they get that cup of coffee again and again and again with patience. I really like Howard Zinn. And Howard Zinn has this quote about how to keep faith and hope in times like these, which for him was 2004, but is also now. He wrote, if we do act in however small a way, we don't have to wait for some grand utopian future. The future is an infinite succession of presents and gifts, to live now as we think human beings should live, in defiance of all that is bad around us. This itself is a marvelous victory. And there was a little boy who I met. I came in one morning to the mental health unit, which has adults, but it also has kids. And there was a gift of stickers under my door for Chaplain Kai. Aren't these beautiful? And I was like, oh, I had met this kiddo and I knew him, and A staff member had shared with me that he'd lost his mom, that she was sort of out somewhere in the world. And sometimes he would think he saw her on the street and say, "Is that my mom? Is that my mom?" So this gift of presence under the door, and his presence reaching out to me, and my presence with him, we ended up talking more and having more conversation, and he wanted a Bible even though he wasn't able to read it. And I was like, good, let's do it. Let's talk about it. Let's have some more time together. And I don't know why, when I sat down to think about it and to be here, why this story makes me hold the world with more gentleness. It's because I think, and I thought about it, and I think it's because I see that deep wound, right, that he has with him. But also, I see him embracing that truth of Howard Zinn's to live as we think humans should live, regardless of the fact that he's in a place that isn't home, that he's not, that it's hard, that life is hard. And so it's like there's this vulnerability in giving me these stickers, as there's vulnerability in showing up for a child, like, because you never know how they're going to respond. I mean, true with adults as well, but you never know. So I think there's also like an acceptance in giving a gift, where we don't know what the outcome will be. We don't quite know what it means or what the meaning will be in the future. But in a mental health setting, and in every setting, precious gifts of dignity and resonance can steady us when reality is confusing or not clear or doesn't feel safe. And this is true here also. And I just wanted to ask you, you have your Post-its. Thank you, Robin and Tobin, for making that possible. I wonder if you would take a moment to just write down two things. One is the best gift that you got recently. And the other is the best gift that you gave recently. So whichever one comes to your mind first. As we're taking a minute with that, I feel like people are still writing. Would anybody like to share either both or just one of the ones on your list? Yeah. Six skunks. Wow, and a gray fox. Oh my gosh. How cool. Oh, and then books. Books to the public library from all of our valued libraries, and then birds and skunks and foxes all around the bird feeders. Thank you very much. Did you have?
I was with a group of people,
Smiles and hugs. Oh, you received hugs and recognition and sharing. It was a very sweet time. Oh, I'm glad. Yeah, that would warm your heart. Being able to give off that warmth and receive that warmth. Yeah, that makes sense to me. Anybody else? Does anybody else have one you would want to share? Yeah, Robin.
I'm spending time down by the river, and this small child randomly comes up to me and says, "I have something for you. I have a stone for you," and puts this very plain stone in my hand, but it was like the most precious gift this child wanted to share. Random child, loved it. Anyway, I just thank you so much. And playing music with my mom, something she used to do professionally, and now that I do it professionally, and I just enjoy spending time.
Wow. Playing music with your mom and a random stone from a beautiful being just came and gave it to you. Lovely.
Is Cindy Parker here this morning?
Cindy Parker.
Well, the reason I bring her name up and another lovely person from this congregation is last week I got very sick, and she and someone else got me home and my vehicle home, and I just tell you, I feel very blessed.
Oh, wow.
Very lucky to have. Thank you.
Oh, that's beautiful. Thank you, Cindy Parker and other friends, for helping him get home when he was sick. That's wonderful. And getting his car home, too. Is anybody else inspired to share? Yes, please.
That reminds me of something that happened in my life. Wasn't recently, it was probably 10 years ago. I was living in Camden, and I went to the town dump on an icy cold day. And I intended to give a gift to a man who fell while he and I were chatting while we sorted our things into the bin. He slipped and fell onto black ice. I was attempting to give him the gift of helping him up, but I slipped and fell, and I broke my elbow. And this wonderful man, who I knew, just as an acquaintance, he not only drove my car home for me while I sped to the hospital ambulance, but then he came back and to the emergency room where I was waiting to do something about my situation. And he stayed with me the entire afternoon until I finished surgery that evening. And I was just so touched by that.
Thank you for that. Oh, what a beautiful one to finish up with. So yes, miracles can happen at the dump on a very icy day when we're trying to help and instead slip on the ice. Oh, I love that. I love the honoring of that relationship and that care. Thank you. Well, so I'm just going to make a little aside that I just want to notice how different these experiences are from something like a bribe or like a gift that maintains an imbalance of power or strokes someone's ego, like a made-up peace prize or something like that, for example. I just wanted to name that those are really different, that these small, beautiful, and giant miracles of gifts are really special and touch something close to our hearts. I think a beautiful gift I got recently was a gift of mangoes and corn in a brown paper bag the week that we found out that we were losing a dear friend of my partner's. But our friends just came by. They had just been to the store. They said corn was on sale. Here you go. And it was just this very lovely gift, especially from people with a new baby. Like sometimes when you know where the gift is coming from, it's like an even deeper gift. You're like, oh, thank you. And I thought too of the gift of prayer with a family who had driven many hours to be with an uncle and a brother who were in the hospital in the same week. And these were folks who had come from but decided to leave a high control religion. And in that setting, to ask for prayer from a chaplain is actually a great vulnerable move for them to do. But just to be able to hear that ask and to return to them with "you are loved and you belong and you would never be left out in the cold for all eternity." What I clicked on the chart was reconnecting with God/faith/others. That was the box that I checked. But actually, I feel like more than reconnecting, sometimes our gifts can be like this reconstituting, like a remaking. And I remember in the 80s, I used to see reconstituted stuff was stuff you added water to, and it just didn't sound very pleasurable. But I guess maybe we could take that if we think about like adding some water to the soup when we include another person around the table, right? And I think too, when we think about remaking, it's not, I think I was having a lot of 80s feelings when I was writing about this, but do you remember the game Oregon Trail from the 80s? Okay. Yeah. It was very silly. It was very elementary, and it was good, and you click yes or no, and you sort of choose your own adventure, and sometimes you die of dysentery. So in that one, when you would die of dysentery or lice or what have you, you would just start over again and you would start fresh. But I think that gifts are more like a reforging, maybe. Not an extra life, but like putting back together what is broken. And when I think of forging, I think with heat and effort and attention, right? Really focusing in. And in the Jewish tradition, the tradition of repairing the world, tikkun olam, I learned recently that that is the meaning of the broken wine glass at a Jewish wedding ceremony. That it's like, remember that when we break something, it takes a lot of effort to put it back together, right? And when I was thinking about this, gifts as like remaking our world, it brought me back to Adrian Rich and number 463 in our very own hymnal, which you probably know. My heart is moved by all I cannot save. So much has been destroyed. I have to cast my lot with those who age after age, perversely, with no extraordinary power, reconstitute the world. And so if we think of the gifts that we just named out loud, those smiles and foxes and rides home, these are the gifts that are reconstituting the world. When we think of the places where the world is remade, certainly the hospital is one of them that I am party to. But there's also our churches and our neighborhoods, all of the places, our yards where we engage with nature and help the beings that are in our sphere. And Joy Harjo has a poem about the dinner table that I'll read you a little bit of. The world begins at a kitchen table. No matter what, we must eat to live. The gifts of earth are brought and prepared, set on the table. So it has been since creation, and it will go on. We chase chickens or dogs away from it. Babies teethe at the corners and scrape their knees under it. It is here that children are given instructions on what it means to be human. We make humans at it. We make people. It is here that we gossip, recall enemies, and the ghosts of lovers. Our dreams drink coffee with us and put their arms around our children. They laugh with us at our poor falling down selves as we put ourselves back together once again at the table. So Adrienne Rich's book that quote comes from in our hymnal, number 463, the book is called Dream of a Common Language. And I think that the kitchen table brings us to that. The gift giving brings us closer to that dream of a common language. As any meal will show us, that's not a gift of parity, like what I give, I lose, right? And you gain something, but I've lost it, but a non-duality. In a meal together, no matter how hard we've worked, we have that moment of looking around the table and just being like, oh, gratitude, thank you, all of these people. So glad we're together. And it doesn't matter how many dishes there will be, but also there will be a lot of people to help with the dishes, which is good. We give the gift of a meal and our spirit grows full. Or how it is to listen to a kid. The imagination and remembering how we used to think the world worked and sort of touching into that. So like the gift that we give is listening and respect and dignity. And the gift that we receive is that deep breath of wonder, of inspiration. I spent time over many weeks at one of the hospitals in support of a woman who was walking very slowly and was carrying a lot of grief. So she walked, when I think about it, I think of her as walking almost as slowly as her grief was moving, just so slowly. And I did some deep breathing with her because I was seeing that she would clench down on her grief. She would just be like, okay, I just have to hold on to it or hold it in. I shouldn't show it and I should let it out. You're shaking it doesn't work that way. We have to let the grief out. We have to breathe the grief away. And it takes so much time. So breathing with her in that time of trauma and grief, walking with her is time that she gave me as well. She gave me the gift of walking slowly with her. When I think of the moment of gift giving, I think of it as something quantum. About the use of that word. But it's like a discrete, in mathematics, it's a discrete portion of something fold, something many-fold. A gift is like a definite piece of what is manifold, of that huge abundance and wholeness that is out there. It's not deterministic. We don't know what's going to happen. It's a mystery. But some people tell us what they want from us, and it isn't possible. And sometimes we're bad at boundaries, and we give away things we shouldn't. But also touching into this space of the manifold, the manyfold, the wholeness. I believe that is part of how we are remaking the world, doing that work of repair. Spenta Kandawala is a healer and acupuncturist with a Zoroastrian Pakistani background, and she also does some work with the National Domestic Workers Alliance. So a really interesting person. And she says this about what I think of as gifting and remaking. Mushrooms detoxify the soil around them, not just removing the toxins, but transforming toxic content into nourishment. And she says, after many dives, I now think of coral reef as a verb or a process, a way that ocean life creates home and beauty out of ships and cars and bikes and other things never meant to live on the ocean floor. Whatever was, we must accept. Whatever we might be, we help to create. This quote above comes from a book called Emergent Strategy by Adrienne Marie Brown, where she writes about social change as a very organic process. Love is an energy of possibility, she writes, the possibility of wholeness. So in the inpatient wing of this mental health unit, I met a young man who was very bright and also experiencing psychosis and depression. And he had so many dreams and hopes for creating a beloved community. And he can tell these to the chaplain, right? Hopes for living in harmony with the world and building and learning with the land. And I was wearing a blue collared shirt with colored stripes, just like this one, but blue, almost purple. And he said, "Oh, I really like your shirt." And so the next time I came, I brought it for him, as I had been taught, right? Give the shirt off my back as a gift to go with him on his journey, wanting abundance for him, hoping that it would protect him and inspire him. And I just give gratitude for the guy in the pizza place who showed me how to do that. May we all continue the cycles of generosity that are shown to us and grow new ones. May we each be protected and inspired and held on our journeys. Amen. Thank you.
I just also wanted to take a moment to thank Robin Jellis for helping with the worship associate parts of the service this morning. I appreciate it, Robin. This is the time in our service where we ask for your donations to help support the work of this church and a charity with soul. We split half of our collection, and this month we are splitting our plate collection with Mid-Coast Hunger Prevention Program. So please give as generously as you are able. Thank you.
If the morning stars still disappear behind a sky of blue, if people rise and go to work like they always do, as long as young folks fall in love and kids keep growing tall, with the earth below and the sky above, there's hope for one and all.
If the moon still moves the deep blue sea and rules the hearts of men, if the world keeps turning quietly, here we go again. If the winter grass turns April green when rain begins to fall, if there's water flowing from the stream, there's hope for one and all.
There's hope for you and me, my friends, with our backs against the wall. If there's water flowing from the stream, there's hope for one and all. If a man still does the best he can, though no one cares,
if mothers rock their babes to sleep and say a little prayer,
If the old car starts when the wind blows cold, way down in the fall, if there's one good spark in the falling dark, there's hope for one and all. There's hope for you and me, my friends, with our backs against the wall. If there's one good spark in the falling dark, there's hope for one and all. If there's one good spark in the falling dark, there's hope for one and all.
Please join in our congregational response. May these offerings sustain and grow the work of this church, weaving a tapestry of love and action. Thank you. Please stand as you're able and willing to sing our closing song, If I Had a Hammer.
I had a hammer, I'd hammer in the morning, I'd hammer in the evening, all over this land. I'd hammer out danger, I'd hammer out warning, I'd hammer out love between my brothers and my sisters, all over this land. Whoa, if I had a bell, I'd ring it in the morning, I'd ring it in the evening, all over this land. I'd ring out danger, I'd ring out warning, I'd ring out love between my brothers and my sisters, all over this land. Whoa, if I had a song, I'd sing it in the morning, I'd sing it in the evening, all over this land. I'd sing out danger, I'd sing out warning, I'd sing out love between my brothers and my sisters, all over this land. Whoa,
Well,
I've got a hammer, and I've got a bell to ring, and I've got a song to sing all over this land. It's a hammer of justice, it's a bell of freedom, it's a song about love between my brothers and my sisters, all over this land. Whoa, whoa.
Thank you all so much. This beautiful sing-along today. So let's hold tight to our Post-its, hold tight to our gifts and release them to all these things that we heard from our neighbors about what matters to us. And let's try to understand ourselves as quantum, as a piece of the manifold, a piece of the wholeness. And I'll end with a line from a poem called Epitaph by Merritt Malloy. Love doesn't die, but people do. So when all that's left of me is love, give me away. May it be so.
As many of you already know, out of our time of worship is only a small portion of the time we spend together in community, living out our values in beloved community. Before you can take part, you have to know about these opportunities. And so we try to highlight a few of these invitations to have you come join us. The QR code on the screen will take you to the digital copy of the announcement sheets, and there are those that are printed in the back that you can take home with you. So they're the colorful sheets in the back. So hope you take part. Thank you.
Thanks for being here. Please greet your neighbors.